What is up, everybody? In this video, we're going to be no-hitting Elden Ring and all of its main bosses using the same build as the legendary Souls gamer, Asmongold. For each main boss we encounter, we're going to be matching his exact weapons, upgrade levels, armor, and talismans that he used for that specific boss. You might be thinking that since this was the build he used on his first playthrough, it's probably a garbage build, but that isn't exactly the case. This is the exact setup that Asmongold had in his first playthrough against Morgott. He may have had some help coming up with this build because I highly doubt any WoW player is smart enough to come up with something like this.
Can't see anything. Oh, I'm getting so mad.
But all joking aside, it's actually an insane build for a first playthrough and would only need a few small tweaks to be a top-tier setup for no-hit runs. This is reminding me of the Bolt of Gransax run we did. Like, obviously, this is a way harder version. If you guys remember that last year when we were doing the run request no hit runs and I was doing Bolt of Gransax and I just kept getting hit to stuff. Like, just every possible hit I could take, I have taken so far. Sens have guaranteed win on December 7th when they play Leafs. There's no way, dude. Sens are so bad. I guess I did pretty well against them last time, but I don't know, man. Or maybe just a case of, you know, the top players like eating too much cap, and so they just can't like fill the spaces around them well enough. Which is similar to what is happening in Edmonton, it feels like, right? I think that's just part of also being a Canadian team. I genuinely think that's a huge part of it. Where you're playing in Canada and you're just making less money if you're playing in Canada. Like, that's it. I honestly would really like to get the run getting this item down here. I'd much prefer that than get the other one, just because this is the one that he used. So, I mean, maybe I won't actually start getting the other one, dude. Honestly, if I can just get back to Millennia, and even if I get hit, I wouldn't really be upset. Because once we get past Millennia, then we have a very decent shot at the run. Yeah, for the Sens have been in like modern era is conference final game 7 double overtime. Lost in double overtime game 7. It's brutal, dude. Honestly, just brutal. Good thing he just rolled off like that. Come on, man. I just can't believe this guy's doing this every time. Oh boy, I'm probably dead. Oh, what a miracle that he decided to go around. What an idiot. What an absolute moron this guy is, dude. He had a straight shot to me, but he couldn't figure it out. Even though, like, I'm not a big Montreal fan. I'm really not. I actually just don't like them at all. Second least favorite team. I was still kind of hoping they would win, even with that being said. Hopefully this is close enough to the edge. I'm actually not sure. It might not be close enough to the edge here. Nice. Although, like, I don't know. There's sometimes watching hockey at this point, at least for the Sens, where it's actually kind of frustrating how they don't play more physical. Sometimes. Oh, what the fuck? Guy's a hero, dude. you don't think the best players of either time period would succeed? Yeah, like obviously if you just like time traveled, brought Gretzky to modern day, he would get destroyed. That doesn't mean he's bad. Back in the day, people were like smoking between periods. Like it's just totally not the same at all. What's probably more something you can compare is the gap between the best player versus the next best player. Because like in the era, because at that point, like that's definitely a much more fair comparison because they're gonna have similar access to like training and all this stuff. And yeah, and then if you compare Gretzky in that way, like nobody, I mean that's never going to be matched again for sure. Like McDavid's obviously insanely good, but, and I would say there is a huge gap actually, or there's a fairly sizable gap between like him and McKinnon, who I would say is probably the second best right now. There's a decent gap, but it's not like Gretzky gap. And I guess, I mean, to be fair, Lemieux was insane too, but. No stun. Yeah, I usually don't talk about sports this much, dude, but this is what's happening because I'm having to reset a million times. This is what happens when you become a reset streamer. Please don't. You gotta start talking about stuff that aren't the game. I cannot believe he survived with that cheeky 1 HP. Prefer watching college hockey over NHL? Is the officiating better at the college level? It'd be literally extremely hard to imagine worse than NHL officiating.
Come over here. What you doing? What's it to you? Stay back, you wretch.
That's the worst part of the NHL. Okay, we're gonna stop. Let's stop talking about NHL, dude, because I feel like I've been talking about it for the last 6 hours and 48 minutes. We can move on to something else, such as Marka's tits, dude. Of course. Hey, golden eyes, dude. Here we go. I forgot how many extra runes you get for that. 335 though. I mean, not bad. Yeah, before streaming, I was doing programming. Well, actually, I've been streaming for a long time, but before I started full-time streaming, I was doing programming. But yeah, I mean, I've been streaming for a long time, dude. It's only fairly recently where I've actually like done it as my like just full-time, I guess. It's kind of funny though too, right? Because when I started, I was making decent money, dude. I was programming and I'd been, you know, moved up the, you know, kind of like the payroll a little bit. I was making good money and like streaming I wasn't, but I'm like, man, I just don't even care. I was like, I'm just gonna, it's fine. I really don't. As long as I have enough, it's totally fine. And so that's what I decided. And obviously I didn't expect it to work out like this where, you know, we'd start uploading YouTube videos and it'd take off like that, but that's what happened. What am I doing here? It's really hard to make enough from only streaming, dude. It's very difficult. I mean, it's very hard to get to a point, or it's very unlikely for most people to get to a point where you can actually like make a decent amount streaming. Unless you just start simply stealing people's content, recording it on your phone, put some GTA gameplay, post it on TikTok, $500 a day, dude. Simple. Dude, that dude deserved to get cooked in the replies. Like, what an absolute, like how, I just must be so out of touch to think that you could just post that and not get shit on. But YouTube just has a lot more people. They have their like ads all figured out compared to Twitch and all this stuff. So, you know what? This actually is interesting. I should probably kill the boss before I say this. I can pay attention. Oh. Stamina, dude. Rip Poise. Poise is definitely resetting here. Maybe I prevented it? I don't know. Why the fuck would you do that? Oh, he impa-read is why. Fucking bastard. Fucking input reader. Please stun. Nice. Yeah, okay, so what I was saying yesterday, I checked the hours that I stream for in total. I've streamed for about 8,200 hours, 8,200 hours or so. The total number of time watched on my channel on Twitch, I think it was 2.2 million hours. That's an insane amount of hours, right? But I've also been streaming for 6 years. But when it comes to content creation and stuff, that's actually like not that crazy. And here's the comparison. I was like, oh, I wonder what my YouTube watch time is. And and in the last 28 days, it is like 2.8 million. What that essentially means is in the last 28 days, there have been more watch hours on my YouTube channel than in total across my 6.5 years of streaming on Twitch. YouTube has so many more people watching that. And it's not just my channel. I'm talking about the platform overall. And for example, my... Fuck. I think I can charge R2 this. The first Bow All Bosses stream that was on YouTube, I think it was that one, has gotten like 400k views, dude. And that's just a past broadcast on a stream. That's it. That's all it is. There is absolutely like zero potential for that on Twitch, right? Zero potential for that. So that's another reason why streaming on YouTube is actually like potentially better. And it's just, yeah, like versus YouTube where it's basically just normal YouTube video, right? But yeah, when I saw those numbers, I was like, holy fuck, dude. Like, that's crazy. And imagine the big, really big YouTube channels, right? Like PewDiePie or something. Back when, or, I mean, obviously Mr. Beast is like, would be insane. If somebody told me like a year ago that next thing you know, I'm going to have like 250k on YouTube, it'd just be unbelievable to think about. I couldn't even imagine it, dude. Like, that's crazy, I don't think. Wouldn't be as fun to stream it in that way. But yeah, for their like 2023 financial report, they didn't include the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC in it or something like that. And so that's why people have speculated that it's not going to be this year. What are the chances that Shadow of the Erdtree will be poorly received? I think very low. I mean, at least in terms of the Souls games, but even beyond that, FromSoft really hasn't taken an L anywhere. In every single one of the Souls games, the DLC is the best content. DS2 remaster. I would like to see a DS2 remake. I think that game deserves to be remade into what the original vision of Dark Souls 2 was. All right, well, we're back at Red Wolf, so let's do it, dude. Maybe adjust some of the controls, such as B jump, and then that's all it needs, man. It's already good. But Bloodborne in 60 FPS would be a game changer. This is exactly the same RNG as the last fight, you guys. And then it changed. That opening, the first 3 attacks he did there was the exact same as last fight. Maybe make some minor in-game adjustments to the rolling iframe thing, which I've explained so many times I'm not going to do it again. I don't think I would change anything else about DS2 in a remake. And I would be... What I was saying the other day is, like, if they did remove the agility stat or the controlling iframes mechanic of the game, I would honestly be very upset. And I probably wouldn't even play it. But, okay, I'll explain the ideas I have. Raise the floor of iframes so that the minimum iframes that are possible are higher, and remove agility, make the actual iframes that your character has more visible on the character stat screen, and that's it. That's all I would change, really. And have like a good explanation of what it means. And again, we're not going to have this big discussion here. I honestly really don't give a shit. Because I do like it. And I think the implications that it has on challenge running is really good. And the implications that it has on build variety is also good. I feel like I normally get to 40 here. Probably didn't pop a soul. When do I normally pop this soul in? Where is it even from? Oh, I don't have enough anyways. Surely Rennala won't survive with 1 HP here. All right, Rennala time. I don't know if I equipped the gesture. I did. Ah, we got that rare back spawn with the flesh. You fucking bastard, dude. Fucking moon attack. You know, I've actually noticed something very interesting when I was testing this earlier, which I'll explain in a bit. So those 3 wolves that I just attacked, when they come back in and respawn, they're going to be aggroed regardless of the beast torch. But this one will not, because I'm not going to attack this one. See, look. So those 3 will attack, but that one won't. That's the one that I didn't attack earlier. So basically, I guess that means these are like the same wolves, right? Pretty interesting. Nice. Oh! Oh, you bastard. Oh, you bastard. I honestly forgot she could do that. I didn't even see her starting up the attack because I wasn't really paying attention. Good thing I heard him. I heard him, and that's why I got away. That's so funny, dude. Asmongold did not do this hitless now. We're just using his first playthrough build. And I would like to do this with a bunch of other, we'll call them like quote-unquote celebrities as well. I think that could be fun. Because this run's already been super fun, dude. This has already been awesome. That's the best. I think that's the best part of like doing the stuff I do here is like the runs are so much fun to do. It's one of the craziest things about doing this stuff is that people know who I am, man. I remember when I figured out that Lobos knew who I was like, holy shit, dude. Fucking, how does Lobos know who I am, man? I'm just some idiot doing garbage challenge runs, man. And the absolute god of challenge runs, Lobos knows who I am. that was pretty funny, dude. Who was I inspired by the most? Well, literally the only reason I'm playing Souls games at this point in time is because of Faraz's, Faraz Khan's no-hit run at DS3. So for sure by him, and for sure by Squilla as well. Those were the 2 guys that made me start no-hit runs in the first place. Yeah, Squilla's always been, I've always considered him to be like one of the best. Yeah, but again, the entire reason why I'm even playing Souls games right now and streaming and stuff is because of I came across Faraz's no-hit run on YouTube. I've told the story a number of times, but essentially I quit Dark Souls 3 after my friend convinced me to play it. I got about halfway through or so. Never planned to play it again because I was annoyed by some of the mechanics in the game. But then I stumbled across his no-hit run and I just couldn't believe it, dude. Yeah, after I saw that, I got back into the game, finished the game, immediately started doing no-hit in DS3 because I was just thinking like, I wonder how I could do at this. And so yeah, that's how it all started, dude.
Maybe I'll give you the best nut ever.
Come on, Noble. Not sure we're getting the stun on this one, you guys. Maybe? Dude, this is actually like worst scenario, basically. Why did I do that second attack? Okay, pretty well saved there, though. Pretty well played. I think, I don't remember exactly where I stopped playing the game on that playthrough, but it was around that area, basically. It was a bit past Abyss Watchers. I did kill them. I think I killed Wolnir as well, but maybe it was like on the way to Pontiff. And that's why I'm happy that they put the Stakes of Marika in this game. I think that's a huge improvement to these games. Not having to run back through areas. Because in my opinion, I've talked about it a lot. I just think there's no point having to do that. And yeah, that's also a huge part of the reason why I don't really like playing Souls or Souls-like games casually. That's a huge part, and that's probably the main reason. It's because I just don't really like having to do that. I'd much rather play these games in a way where I like optimize things and I learn the boss fight in a more efficient way, such as using like a save file or whatever. And yeah, dude. That's why, you know, a lot of people don't really understand when I say I don't like these games casually, and I literally have thousands and thousands of hours in them, but that's kind of how, dude. I still really like the games overall. They're amazing. But yeah, that's the reason why I don't really like them casually as much. It should be on time here. This is number 1. This is number 2. I'm just gonna grace out. You fucker. Imagine doing that twice. Because DS2 is so much fun for doing challenge runs on that a lot of the things that really, like, casual players really don't like about the game, or just people doing casual runs, I don't really care about as much. And I mean, I've made that very clear why I like DS2 more than the other Souls games for the most part, because it's just it's so much fun for challenge running it compared to the other ones. I mean, the other ones are great too, but yeah, DS2 is awesome for it, man. And again, that all comes back to the whole like controlling your iframes thing too, right? And I can understand 100% why people don't like it casually, and it makes sense. But for me, it doesn't really matter. Because it's so good on challenge runs, right? Like, I can 100% accept that. That's the reason why I like DS2 and you know, why it's not the more popular Souls game. Or like the least favorite Souls game overall for most people. Number 1. Number 2. Yeah, luckily coming into this fight, I only had like 700 runes or something, so memory of gracing out doesn't matter. Should be number 3. There it is. Do 1 follow-up. There it is. Yeah, so I 100% I understand. I have a pretty different perspective on the Souls games compared to most players. And I acknowledge that. I think that's totally fine. But that's why, you know, that's why I kind of have that like internal debate though of whether or not I would consider all of the Souls games to be in like my top favorite games of all time. And that's why it's a bit tricky for me, because the way that these games are meant to be played, I'm not the biggest fan of, right? But when it comes to doing challenge runs like this, it's basically my favorite thing to do in any game at this point in time, right? So that's why it's kind of tricky a bit. My stamina consumption's a little awkward here. Just gonna refill here. So yeah, that's why that's an interesting thing for me to think about. But yeah, my conclusion is that they absolutely are in my top favorite games of all time. I mean, they just have to be. I'd be such an idiot to like put 9K hours in a game series that I don't think is my favorite games to play or whatever. Okay, ultimately, I guess it doesn't really matter how you enjoy the games, just that you enjoy them. Okay, let's go to the temple. Tips to beat Sekiro: simply learn and then win. And so for example, when I think of phase 3 Ishin, or I guess phase 2 Ishin, but it's like phase 3 overall in the fight, is you do one attack and then you parry, and then you do one attack and then you parry, and then you do one attack and then you parry, and then you just do that. You just loop it basically. And so it's not really an Emma. Emma's the same, just like one hit parry, one hit parry, one hit parry the whole time. So the bosses are really good, but that definitely like detracts from them a little bit. What class? Yeah, well, you know, it's something that's interesting. I'm not saying this is what you're saying, but a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people think that the classes that they pick in Elden Ring or in Souls games in general are super important. They're really not. It's not like an MMO where you pick a class at the start of the game and you're just forced to use that class the entire time. You know, all it affects really is just your starting levels and just your starting gear, but that can be easily fixed. I mean, your starting stats, I guess, are your starting stats, but it's really not a big deal. Because people ask me about that all the time. Like, oh man, what class do I pick? Like, it's such a big deal. It's really not that big of a deal. We should get a stun eventually here, I think. Here it is. It's because Radahn was a negative poise that whole time, but he can't be stunned during that animation, so I just had to attack him once he got out of it to get the stun. Go back and try Radahn before the first nerf. I'm not gonna lie, I have barely noticed a difference on him since then. Now, it's been a while since I fought that older patch Radahn, but I feel like people make way too big of a deal on how significant that patch was to him. I could be totally wrong, and maybe it was just huge and I'm misremembering or something, but you know, one thing to consider from people's opinions on it, you know, you beat the rest of the game, whatever. They patch the game, you know, with the big Radahn nerfs. Then you go back to him on NG Plus or on a new playthrough, and you fight him again. And then you beat him in a couple tries. And so you're like, man, they made him so much easier. But in reality, like, sure, maybe they did make him a bit easier. But what is more likely to have happened is that you just learn the boss from your first playthrough. And so you just kind of have to, like, get back into the swing of it. And then you're good to go. JBs, have a good night, dude. Thanks for the good luck. Ah, they've got the double stamina consumption there. Surely it's fine. It is fine. I'd have to search it up. And I also don't really care enough to search it up. Okay, so let's go. Where do we go? Go to Mohg? But basically my point is I'm not a MOBA guy. Is my point. No, I definitely don't think Skyrim's best Elder Scrolls. I think my personal favorite is Morrowind, and I also think it's hard to compare a little bit because obviously Skyrim has way better graphics and it has it's more up to date. But if you take into consideration the time at which the game came out, I think Morrowind is the best one. But no, I definitely don't think Skyrim. I like, even though I played Skyrim more than Oblivion, I like Oblivion as a game overall more than Skyrim. And all you got to do for that quest line is just invade 3 times or win an invasion. And so it's the easiest to just invade 3 times on that NPC. No, if I'm playing this game offline, I'm practicing. That's what I'm doing. You know, finding strats or setups for skips, as you guys saw if you were watching, it was whenever I did the 14-hour stream a couple days ago, and I was testing a good setup for the skip down to the Great Jar Invaders. Testing that sort of stuff, I find it really fun to do, but it takes an absolutely immense amount of time, right? Surely that throw was fine. Didn't break the pot. I don't know if it matters. I'm scared. I don't know, dude. It might even be kind of more the opposite, actually. I'm not the most excitable person, as you guys might have noticed. I don't think I would get into a horror game, you know? I'd just be playing it and just going through it, and I don't know. Tips and tricks for beating Millennia aside from gear. Learn and then win. It's great that I have advice all lined up, because if I had to think every time somebody asked me for advice, then it would be a lot of time consumption and brain power used. And that's not even a joke. That's genuinely not a troll or a meme or a joke. That is my honest recommendation of how to go through these games and figure out the bosses and beat them in an efficient way. Is you figure out their moveset. Don't try to win. That's the main thing, right? You learn and then you win. You don't try to win on your first attempt or your second attempt. You figure out the boss first, and then once you do that, then the win is easy. Okay, well, we're back to Mohg. But the whole process of playing through these games and learning and fighting the bosses is much more smooth if you learn first and then you win after. And it's way less frustrating too, because you're not going in and, you know, the boss survives with 1 HP because you got a bad attack and you were trying to greet it or something. Because that doesn't happen because you've learned it first. Oh, this positioning's rough. I missed that headshot. Nice. Yeah, unfortunately I missed that headshot on the prior to the riposte, which wasn't great. But still, anytime we can get that stun going into phase 2, it really reduces the length of the fight. So yeah, Niall doesn't count as a hit for this because it's not meant to be avoided. There's not a way to avoid it other than killing the boss. And with this setup, with no shackle, we can't do it. We could get the shackle, but Asmund didn't use the shackle, so I kind of don't want to. Even, okay, I gotta pay attention here though. Even level 1 no hit in this game, you are still very easily able to kill Mohg before he does the Nihil attack. Pay attention. This guy, I think I took a bad path last time and this guy jumped out because he has sort of a scripted attack he does, so. It looks like we're good this time. Assassin Gambit is busted. I 100% agree. It's actually crazy that they put something like this in the game. Okay, down the sewers. And it kind of goes into what I was saying earlier about learning a boss. The longer the fight lasts, and the longer you actually stay in the boss fight, then the more seamless the experience is to learn it. Now, if you're trying to learn a boss like Malekith right now, he does a fuck ton of damage, right? Unless you have a pure tank build, he deals a lot of damage. And so, what? Did I not hit him directly with the sleep pot? Fucking bastard. I guess I did, and he just moved forward and evaded it. Or maybe what happened is I hit him in the claw, and then he went into the snipe animation, which moved him backwards, so he didn't get procced. Ooh, that's kind of scary. Okay, well, in all that talking, we have collected all the shards. There it is. Gargoyle Halberd, plus 23. Why do I feel like I have an extra level here? Surely I didn't forget anything. Yeah, Sense seemed like they got blasted. Happy I didn't watch it, because I would not have enjoyed watching a shutout. So yeah, that's what's tricky about it. But I mean, it's not anything crazy for a coach to coach for only a couple games and then be swapped out. Not too uncommon. I should not have done that attack right there. Huge damage, dude. I don't know why. I mean, I don't think about that stuff, dude. So. that discussion of who's the best at a PvE game, I don't think it really matters. You know, if you're talking about some like competition like bingo, then maybe that's more of a discussion because that's a competitive setting, but pretty wild to think that this is the exact setup that Asmongold had in his first playthrough against Morgott, dude. I do believe he first tried him, which is understandable considering this insane damage, but yeah, that's wild, man. To be fair though, a lot of the time he didn't end up using all of his buffs. He kind of just like forgot a bunch of times or just didn't care to use it. But this is exactly his build. Only thing you hate about Godskin Duo is the arena. I completely disagree. I don't want to get into it. I would say they've made probably about 3 respectable duo bosses in total. One of which is, I would say, God tier. The rest of them, just throw them in the trash bag, dude, honestly. Let's hear them. Obviously first is Demon Princess, Duo Ape, and Sekiro, although not a Souls game, but I'd say Dark Lurker. I think in my tier list I put Dark Lurker at a B, and I think that's respectable. Simone Ornstein is trash bag tier. All that being said, I think it's better balanced than Godskin Duo is. I put Godskin Duo as F tier. That's my fundamental problem with almost every duo boss that FromSoft has made. Basically, they put 2 enemies in a boss arena, especially in this game. They put 2 enemies in a boss arena, and that's it. So I think there needs to be a mechanic, and Demon Princess is the perfect example of that with the Embered states that they have. That allows you to isolate them, and the game does the work for you. And yeah, it's a perfectly balanced duo fight, not to mention it's just so cool. The moveset's really good, and you have the awesome face too. But that's why it's my #1 ranked boss, for me personally, in all of Souls games. And of course, you know, everyone talks about ONS being such an iconic boss and all that stuff, which is true. I mean, it's absolutely true. For me, what really makes that boss absolute trash is the glitches in the fight. But even if you remove the glitches, they wouldn't be above a C tier boss for me at all. Like, they would be a below average boss. for me. Because they're missing the proper balance, and they're missing the mechanic that allows you to isolate the enemies. And so what you end up having to do is just kite them around. You know, try to poke yourself in and bait out attacks so that you can find an opening to actually attack the boss. Why would you not follow up, you bastard? Oh, what a massive hit that was, dude. Jesus. That insane headshot. Well, Gideon's a horrible boss no matter how you look at it, honestly. I think I put Gideon as the lowest ranking boss in my tier list in all of Souls games, and including Sekiro. I think he was my lowest ranked. If Abyss Watchers was only the phase 1, I would despise that fight. Put it as like a solo, dude. But the phase 2 is pretty fun, so it's not so bad. I don't like that happened right there. Definitely much easier to just sleep Fire Giant when you're trying to do a strat like this. Okay, your foot is in the fucking sky. This big fucking rock in front of me. I really, dude, if his poise reset, I'm gonna be so upset, dude. Oh my god, you are such a fucker, man. That's fucked up. First time we haven't scripted Fire Giant phase 2, because he just gives us atrocious RNG. Imagine being Fire Giant, dude. Imagine being such a big idiot. If this is the run, that's where Hunter inserts a clip of my fist-only Fire Giant kill. And what the fuck happens on that attack. What a mistake. You just stay in there. That fire attack is just unfucking believable. Let's see if we can run it back here. I hit his arm. Okay. Should be scripted here. Yet I'm an idiot. Oh, dude. I don't know why I delayed, man. That was purely my fault. That was really dumb. Now, you can go underneath on that attack, but I just don't trust it, man. I just don't. Oh, I can hit him in the head with this. Interesting. Oh, I hit. Blasted. Oh, rare Fire Giant phase 2 with this build.
Best nut ever.
All right, dude. We're almost back to where we were earlier today. But hopefully I'm wrong, I guess. All right, dude. So let's go get the things here. We're going to be doing the new strat.
Please, no.
Yeah, it was cool seeing them beat the Avs in the playoffs last year. Like, I was rooting for them. Hopefully that throw is good enough. New strat here when they're facing away. Oh, dude. No fucking way, man. Gonna throw that back there. Good. All right, there we go. So next, this section, which is also new, how we're doing this. Start east, hit the wall, and then we head north. We see the guys. Northwest. Much faster way of doing this as well than what I did before. Yeah, it's a good line. I mean, it's basically taking the main pathway through that area. Either we get hit or we get the run. Yeah, if we don't get this run right now, like, hopefully we can keep getting more consistent at getting to this point in it. Yeah, for sure. This is definitely a run where I haven't gotten it yet, obviously, but I need to improve more, or I've had to improve in order to get it, which is great. Like, it's a good feeling doing runs like that, and, you know, it can be fun to get runs on the first try, too, when I just do, you know, normal 80% or whatever, but... Yeah, it's more fun to challenge yourself, I feel like, dude. I've been comparing this to a level 1, all Great Runes run, and I would say this run is harder than level 1, for sure. It's a small step up. Round them up. Get over there, zombies. Flower zombies. You're such a fucker, dude. Oh my god, man. That is the perfect demonstration of why this boss is not as good as it could be. Like, why could you do that? It's so dumb, man. That's why, remember when I was talking about that mod that I need to make where every time Loretta and Gideon cast Glint Blades, it's just my voice saying, Glint Blades, Glint Blades, Glint Blades. But yeah, Loretta's one of those fights where it's so awkward with the mid-rolls on it. It makes a huge difference, right? Because I can't roll to the line spot on the boss where you don't get those follow-ups and you get free punishes. No, throwing knives don't make as much noise as kukris do. Consider the fact that my beard is bushier than Bushy's. I guess I haven't considered that. Plus 25. We also need to go get the Erdtree +1 talisman. Kukri is from the Weeping Peninsula Merchant. The one that's closer to the castle. the Knights Cavalry guy. One next to the Knights Cavalry. I don't know how I had such a hard time describing that. Time for some theft. Yeah, get wrecked, dude. Get your shit stolen. Mess that up a little bit. Jesus, dude. Come on, input read it. Not the most stellar phase 1 I've ever seen. That was not a good fight, dude. That was really not good.
True Lord.
We're gonna sleep Godskin Duo, I think. Yeah, luckily when she did that phase 1 waterfowl where I basically my positioning was terrible and I got too far away. Luckily I saw it in time and I made the correct decision to run away because I was just too far. But yeah, that was not well played, dude. Definitely not my best Millennia fight. I'm a little concerned because it has been a while since we've actually gone through the late game on this run. Now, I only have 4 sleep pots right now, but that should be fine. Cosmetic Physic Flask. Man, that's so much damage, dude. Just bring him to the center. Ooh. Not my best roll right there. Decent. I don't know if that roll on the first projectile was bad or if it just looked weird because we didn't fast roll or something. It did look a little early. All right, so we are going to pick up a Frenzy Flame Stone. If I'm remembering correctly, the timing was... Okay, I need to think about this. No, I think it was jumping R2 with the Gargoyle Halberd into... So when he says us is when I do the first jumping R2. He turns around, he starts casting the debuff. I wait a little bit, and then I do the next attack, and then he gets Madness procced, and then we do the next jump L1. I believe that's correct. This is a sort of a new strat for this run. I didn't know that you could pick up... Like, I found a little jump that we can do to the Madness Stone. Generally, when I use the Madness Stone on these runs, I go from... Generally, I go from the Avatar, because a lot of the builds that I've done no-hit runs with, you would just kill that Avatar for some Elemental Physic tier. So yeah, I believe that's the right strat. We only have one shot at this. If I mess it up, then we're fucked.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. Queen Margit has high hopes for us, but we continue to struggle. Unto eternity. I know.
Goodbye, idiot.
In my bones,
Strat works beautifully.
cannot become a lord.
Yeah, it's such a nice strat, dude, because there's a lot of builds, such as this one, that they just don't have enough damage to script Gideon.
Cannot kill.
And so you need, you know, a little bit of an extra boost in damage, but then you also, doing this Madness strat, you get a full extra hit in, right? Because you get stunned by the Madness proc. Okay, Hoarah Loux. Oh, we usually scripted him, I believe, in phase 2. Yeah, the Asmongold Gideon strat, dude. Surely he used that. No, we're staying like pretty close to accurate to his build. I'm trying to, you know, There's some cases where we need to do things to make fights consistent and not RNG based. So yeah, I mean, I definitely alter some stuff. Missed a hit there. It blasted. All right, now there is one more stop on this run before the final boss. Asmongold swapped to the Tree Sentinel helmet for Elden Beast. So we are going to go get that. We're trying to stay pretty accurate to his build. He went and got it, so we're going to go get it as well. Yeah, for all these runs that we're eventually going to do, I think on certain fights, I'm going to adjust the build to make the fight more consistent, right? I don't want there to be RNG on stuff. He did reach 99 strength like we did. But he also had a bunch of other stats as well, like vigor and all that stuff. Yeah, I figured it would just be like kind of unreasonable to follow the exact soul level as well, or rune level. There it is. Shit, dude, there's actually another thing I kind of wanted here. I wanted the stamina regen. Yeah, the way the shackle works is the shackles, for whatever reason, interact with the light pillars. And so the intended way of breaking those chariots is by, you know, going through the dungeon, moving that light pillar so that it spawns another chariot, which then collides with the other ones. I can't forget the Tree Sentinel helm and gear. Gonna rebuff here. Ah, we get this RNG. Okay, gotta keep in mind the wall is pretty close here. Bro, what a fucker, dude. What a shitter, boss. There we go, man. That was genuinely a harder Elden Beast fight than most of the Master Run fights we got, because there's just such a terrible combination of Elden Stars with the flying attack and the mid-roll and all this nonsense combining together, dude. Observe the bald head. Take it in. Final moments of the bald head. There we go, dude. Yeah, the reroute paid off, man. Yeah, really fun run to do, though, man. With, like, honestly, such a sick build. Yeah, what a tough Elden Beast fight, man. That fight can be scripted. Like, most of the time, that fight's scripted. The only way it's not is if he does exactly what he did there and swim at that weird angle. That's the only way it's not. Surely my character looks like Asmongold, right? My default male character with just a bald head. Yeah, and we started off easy, kind of, with this one. This was a really strong build. I honestly, I would be shocked if anybody else had a build as good as this one, because yeah, I mean, this build's broken as hell, dude. So